Okay, so today I want to talk about getting over my imposter syndrome, my struggle with it my entire life, and how I can get out of my own head. So, if you're lucky enough to have gotten over imposter syndrome or never deal with it, you know that you are in such a great place because you don't have a lot to worry about whenever you're worrying about everybody else. They don't matter. However, those of us who do struggle with it, there is this constant feeling of I'm not good enough. I can remember even way back whenever I was a young child having this problem with wondering if I'm good enough. Am I black enough? Am I light enough? Do I speak good enough English? All of these things that came into my mind, I struggle with so much. And that's why I'm creating this video because I know there are other people that are out there. And I want to make sure that I'm doing my best to put a message out there that you are good enough. And I also want to help people understand how I'm now getting over this imposter syndrome, or at least battling it and doing my best to battle it every single day. So, now as an adult, one of the things that I struggle with when it comes to imposter syndrome is just wondering if I've done enough. We've become millionaires. We live overseas. We're living the dream life that some people want. We are doing all of these things, but I still struggle because I ask myself, am I qualified enough? Have I done enough research to help other people get to where we are? And I don't know that answer. All I know is that my goal has always been to help more people. And I know what we've done to get there. And I want to make sure that whatever message that I'm putting out there, I'm doing my best to assist people in becoming who they want to be. And I don't know if that's becoming millionaires or making a certain amount of money to become financially free, or it's just better understanding themselves. But I want to be a part of that. And I want to know that I'm doing my part to make the world a better place. So, my current imposter syndrome is this: we have become millionaires recently, I would say in the last several years. And the thing that I think I struggle with the most is there are people that have way more money out there. There are people that have way more experience than I do. There are financial planners that are helping people. But the interesting thing about that, whenever I start doing more research, there are financial planners, the majority of them themselves have not become millionaires or don't do a great job of managing their money because they're so concerned with managing other people's money. And I'm not trying to knock them by any stretch of the imagination. I think there are some great financial planners out there. But as I look at that, I feel like people want to know and learn from people that are actually living the life and also have the freedom to talk about these things, because a lot of financial planners who have hit that $1 million plus mark don't have the freedom to talk about their success and how they're managing their money. And so I think our viewers want to hear from people that are actually, quote unquote, in the trenches. And that's what I hope that helps me get over this imposter syndrome, is just knowing that there are people out there that want help to hit their goals, that want help to understand how to reach their financial goals and become millionaires or whatever that number is, so that they can have a more financially free life. You know, as somebody who's struggled with imposter syndrome pretty much my entire life, one of the questions, and I'm sure if you struggle with it, you ask yourself this as well. Number one, am I an imposter? And number two, am I good enough? These are things that I think are so paramount to those of us who have these questions for ourselves. And one of the things that I have to ask myself is, am I doing things for the right reason? And am I creating content for the people who also want to achieve the things that they want to achieve? And am I doing it from a place of serving? And I think I am. I feel like I am, and I want to be doing that. And I hope that you all feel that as well, because that is my goal, is to make the biggest impact I possibly can on the world in a positive way. The other question that comes to mind whenever I think about imposter syndrome is just, what do I want? You focus so much on what other people want for you, or you think they want for you, or what they're focusing on, or that they care about you and that you're living in the spotlight. But we don't ask ourselves, what do we want? Right? And for me, I want to wake up and feel like I'm good enough. I want to wake up and see my kids and my wife happy. I want to wake up and know that I'm doing a good job and helping other people. I think these are the things that I genuinely want out of life. I want to be able to go to the beach and go to the lake and go on a road trip and just be. And I think that's a thing that I have to ask myself and answer for myself. And I think those of you who may be struggling with imposter syndrome as well, are you asking yourself that question? What is the thing that you want? For me, the thing that I want again is just to be happy being myself. I want to be happy seeing my wife and kids happy. I want to generally continue to push content out that helps people learn more about money and investing so that they can also live a financially free life. And that is some of the things that I think that I want for myself. One of the things that I think that I'm struggling with and continue to try to overcome is these two particular things. Number one is that feeling of what the hell do I know? And that second thing is right before I hit record, I hear this voice that says, do you really think people want to hear from you? If I can continue to push record and I can continue to say, I do know things that myself 6 months ago didn't know, myself, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years ago didn't know. And I can help people that are also on the same journey that I am and that are the person that I was 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 5, 10 years ago, then I think that'll help me continue to overcome this feeling that I have right now and that I struggle with whenever it comes to imposter syndrome. Because my job as somebody who's creating this content is to help those people that are on the same journey that we are on, that we, and the same person that I was roughly 6 months ago to 20 years ago, right? And I think that is helping me as I create content to do that. So, something I heard the other day is the more you learn, the more you realize how little you actually know. And I think that's really important because I have to be okay understanding that I'm never going to know enough for myself to get over my imposter syndrome. And I think those of you who are also struggling with this, you have to know that as well. You could research yourself for the rest of your life and research the particular field that you're focused on for the rest of your life, and you're still never going to know enough to get over your imposter syndrome. But the thing that's important is that you have to be okay knowing that and knowing who you are and knowing that you're trying to do the most good you can to help other people and help yourself. And if you can be okay with that, I think you're on the road to understanding that imposter syndrome is something that you're going to struggle with probably for the rest of your life, but not giving a fuck about anybody else and just knowing that you're doing your best to help more people and doing good for the world, I think is enough. So, from one person struggling with imposter syndrome to another, let me tell you, you're doing good enough. Keep going. Somebody out there in the world wants to hear your message. And always, always make sure you're giving yourself permission to be yourself and giving yourself permission to be wealthy.